Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Charles Aniagulu. Now, The House of Gucci is Sir Ridley Scott's new film about ambition, feuding and murder inside the famous Gucci fashion dynasty. Released this week globally, the film stars Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons and Salma Hayek. It's based on the events which led to the killing of Maurizio Gucci in 1995, and it revolves around Patricia Gucci, played by Lady Gaga, who hires a hitman to kill her husband Maurizio. Here's a bit of the trailer of that movie.
It was a name that sounded so sweet, so seductive. Synonymous with worth, style, power. But that name was a curse too.
I've been a Gucci all my life.
Your name is in the history books.
Paolo, you are Gucci, you need to dress the part.
It's chic.
Gucci needs new blood. It's time to take out the trash.
They're my family.
So am I.
You picked a real firecracker.
She's a handful.
Bravo. I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
Can you keep a secret?
Father, son, and house of Gucci.
Brilliant. Well, for more on The House of Gucci, I'm joined now from London by Arise correspondent Judita Dasilva. Great to see you, Judita. And I'd watch that film just for the fashion. I mean, it looks so colourful, doesn't it? But just tell us about the story behind this movie, which revolves around Patricia Gucci, played, of course, by Lady Gaga, who hired a hitman to kill her husband, Maurizio Gucci.
Yeah, it's kind of something straight out of an Italian opera, isn't it? But yeah, it was based on the facts behind the fiction was indeed that the Gucci dynasty was founded by Gucci and then passed down to his two sons, Aldo and Rodolfo, who were played by Al Pacino and Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons, Rodolfo Gucci, his son is Maurizio Gucci, who then met this socialite called Patrizia Reggiani. They fell in love, and then her ambition kicked in. But then what we've seen that the difference is between interpretations is because the actual Gucci family is very private. So not people don't know the actual detail firsthand. But this is merely from observation. They're saying that once she was a gold digger, she was after his money. But on the other side, Lady Gaga says she was somebody who wanted to belong to this family, but she was always on the outside. And when Maurizio then moved on to a different lover and wanted a divorce from her, she panicked that she would lose her inheritance and so would her children should he get married to someone else and have a child with them. And that's what drove her to make that fateful decision that led to paying for his assassination.
It sounds absolutely fascinating, especially the star cast. I mean, it's just, you couldn't get better than that. But I understand that some of the Gucci family have said that they are disappointed with the film and they accuse the producers of stealing the identity of their family to make a profit. I mean, are the producers concerned at all with allaying their dismay? Because, I mean, Ridley Scott says that it was, after all, about murder, and that puts them in the public domain.
Yes, it does, because this is something that has happened for as long as they've been making movies. When you think back to Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, or you think to Christian Bale in The Fighter. The genuine people were offended by the films being made. Even recently, Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers. The real people often feel like there's a way they want to be seen. But then this is the difference between news and entertainment. If it were journalistic, you have to have fealty to the truth, and there has to be a kind of symbiosis with what actually happened. That is your job. But when things are done in the name of entertainment, the rule book is thrown out, and it's up to the artist creating the art. And indeed, the quote that you gave was from Patricia Gucci, not Patricia Reggiani. This is the daughter of Paolo Gucci, who was the son of Aldo. And she completely condemned the film. And it's a rehashing of the darkest part of the family's history, which they wish to bury and keep private. And as far as Patricia Reggiani, she was happy when Lady Gaga was first cast, but because she wasn't consulted on the film, she then turned her opinion to being quite negative and felt it was disrespectful. But as Lady Gaga said, she did not want to be seen to be complicit in something that the kind of action she condemns as wrong. So that's why she didn't choose to meet up with Patricia.
Sort of beyond the facts behind the movie, let's look at its entertainment potential. I mean, can it be said that this is an accomplished, enjoyable movie? What are the reviews making of, all the fashion and money and crime and intrigue and backstabbing? I mean, do they like it, all the bruising and so on?
The critics are not that favorable, I have to say, and I see why. Because the thing is, when you look at this film, even though it's in the hands of a genius that Ridley Scott is, he's given us Blade Runner, he's given us Alien, he gave us Gladiator, that's Ridley Scott. The problem is, like from what we've discussed thus far, just briefly, is the story of the Guccis is so extensive. Can you truly do it justice in just one film? And they believe it hasn't been done. And with the screenwriter who is kind of an old film kind of writer who did 7 Years in Tibet and The Prince of Tides, this was too much content to deal with. So there are times where we feel in Act 1 and 3, it's all about Patricia, but then she disappears towards the end of the film. So that doesn't enable you to commit any kind of investment in any of the characters because there's too much to cover. Many people are comparing it to Halston, that was done by Netflix, which was a series. That gave them time to really delve into the story and gave you time to sink your teeth into it. But it's Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott is a movie maker. He's not going to make a TV series.
Yes, I mean, but of course, Lady Gaga in the movie, and a lot of people will go to see the film because of her. Does she steal the show?
Yes, she absolutely does. It's a smart choice for her to make on the back of her last film, because everyone says after you're an Oscar winner and you get that level of success, people want to know, is it just fluke? This was a great choice for her. She chose to use a method which we know people like Marlon Brando and Al Pacino use, and she delved into the character wholeheartedly. And part of the method is that they ask you to mine your own experiences to get authenticity of emotion. She did that, and she's confessed that she even went to dark places where she mined her trauma from sexual abuse to get to the position that Patricia Reggiani must have been in to make such a dark decision. So people are saying she's the runaway star of this film, and so have her co-stars said as well.
Just briefly, you mentioned Ridley Scott, of course, nearly surprisingly 84, and it doesn't look like he has any thoughts at all about retirement. He directed the movie. He's been quoted as saying that age is only a number.
Absolutely. He is like Clint Eastwood and some other directors where they're probably going to be directing until they pass away. We already know that he's got Napoleon and Gladiator 2 coming. So Ridley Scott it's all about the talent. His age means nothing to him. As long as his mind is working and his heart is in it, he will continue to produce great art.
Always nice to talk with you and to get your take on all these entertainment type developments. Thank you very much indeed. Judita Dasilva, Arise correspondent, talking to me there from London. That's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and around the world, bye-bye and thank you for watching.